Welcome to the 1876 Sports and Culture Podcast. Another exciting show for you today. First, I want to talk about something that I recently learned, a partnership with Prairie View and Deloitte. So did you know that about 84% of CPAs are white? Did you all know that?
Dang. I mean,
Yeah.
it shouldn't surprise us.
No, it shouldn't.
84%. Yeah.
How many
And
of
only
us?
2% of us are black.
2% black. Yeah.
2%.
And
So-
less than that of actual CPA firms. Black CPA firms.
Wow. So
We got to do better.
we have to do better. And so Prairie View announced its partnership with the Deloitte Foundation to power scholarship programs for our accounting students. So over the next 6 years, they are going to fund $30 million, $13 million in scholarships for our accounting students. So
That's
kudos
great.
to them.
That is really great. It's funny because my wife, she did accounting at A&M, and when I was talking to her about that, she was like, had I known those numbers were less than that, it would have kind of triggered her to even pursue her CPA. I don't know what's the driving factor. Like, I mean, how do you go into accounting and not? But I guess it's the same thing for engineers, right? We go into engineering, and our numbers are equally as low on the professional engineering side of things too. So we have to push that second wave of education and certifications to really, make our mark in those industries.
Most definitely. And I understand. What was that?
No, just kudos to Deloitte. Good job, Deloitte.
Oh, definitely. So I heard there was a spring scrimmage game.
Yep, the first scrimmage of the spring season. Purple against the gold. Two of the standouts out there were Jaden Stewart, the 6 foot, 210-pound true freshman running back. If you were at some games last year, you saw him pop off to the scene.
I remember.
So his performance during this scrimmage just showed you that he is essentially trying his best to lock up that job. He is a beast. You will not bring him down on the first tackle. So he was someone who really stood out. Another standout was Trajan Spiller, a 6'3", 180-pound true freshman as well from Killeen, Texas, wide receiver. His size and speed really stood out from the other performers as well. The offense kind of seemed to have were a little ahead of the defense. Jason Dumas, for those of you who don't know, underwent soldier surgery shortly after the SWAC championship game. He was out there playing with a torn up shoulder.
Wow.
He is a soldier, so he is not performing in spring practice, but the guys look good. It was the first practice again. We'll be anxious to see the spring game, which will be the 23rd of April. They will do the Panther Walk at 2:30 p.m. on the 23rd. Okay. And the alumni, as we mentioned before, Alumni Affairs will host a tailgate, which means free food and drink on the 23rd from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. So I would encourage everyone.
Drink, not drink. There is a difference.
I said drink. Yes, I did. So I would encourage everyone to make it there for the Panther Walk at 2:30. A lot of people probably don't know what it is, but that's basically the football team walking out from their man, I don't know where they initiate from.
So they initiate in front of MSC at the Panther. So a lot of us old heads, we didn't quite know that the Panther was there, but yeah, out in front of the MSC, the nice big Panther statue, they originate there, and they actually walk to the field, to the field house from that point of reference. So good place to come out, get some pictures, help cheer the boys on. Looking forward to seeing everybody out there. I know everybody's hungry for football again, especially now that it seems like we're getting our rhythm back. So come on out, support the team, get you something to eat, and tailgate and enjoy the game.
Yep. And for those who are curious like myself, you get to see what the quarterback competition looks like, and you will get to see what the offense looks like under new offensive coordinator Mark Fredericks. So I'm sure he's anxious to put some wrinkles in the offense, being his first time as the OC for Prairie View A&M. So let's get out there, let's get it, let's support our team again. April the 23rd, the game is at 4 p.m. Panther Walk at 2:30.
Come on, Panthers, let's make it a day.
Make it happen. Make it. I'm actually gonna come from Dallas. So those that are in Houston, I know.
Road trip.
You know, my dad graduated from Prairie View in, I believe it was 1961, and he has been saying how he wants to come back. He's 84 years old, and so I've always felt that homecoming would be a little too much for him. So I was like, hey, you want to roll down to PV with me on the 23rd? He was like, I do. So.
Oh,
I'm excited.
I got a road trip for that one.
I'm excited. Yeah, he has. And here lately, he's been really talking about Prairie View and wanting to see the campus, and so it'll be a good father daughter time.
When's the last time he saw the campus?
Exactly.
When he came, my niece graduated in 2010, but you know the baby dome is right there, so he hasn't like really gone. When he would drop me off, he would always walk around the campus because Alexander Buchanan was brand spanking new when he was in school. And so he would always walk around the campus when he dropped me off. So that was really the last time that he's truly seen the campus. So 1996.
You got to record his response. Like you got to get that real hard, just raw footage.
Be like, what
in the
exactly. I've asked for assistance if I can get maybe like a golf cart. So working on that. But so I'm excited for him.
Good deal. She say, don't talk about it, be about it.
There you go.
Exactly. So some exciting news here. Federal Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson made history on Thursday, April 7th, by becoming the first Black woman confirmed to the United States Supreme Court. Yay. Yay. Most qualified, most disrespected, but she got there.
Yes, indeed. Another round of where, you know, the tax is high, you know, you have to overperform, over deliver, and still find yourself in a position where they deem you not qualified. But hey, you know what? I applaud her decorum, her demeanor, her she did it with such grace, you know. There was a couple of times I would have I'm sorry, I was sitting there watching and I got especially that whole Ted Cruz scenario, man. Like that was a rough one, but she did it, and she did it with grace and class. And so, you know, congratulations to her. She's well deserved. It's well deserved. It's not just that she's Black, but she is a well-deserving person to sit in that position.
And let it be said that the 1876 Sports and Culture Podcast has been on Ketanji for over a year.
Over a year, we called it. It was called right here. Brother Allen,
we got receipts now.
First. Check the history.
Definitely.
My one question is, if you're Tim Scott's family, is he allowed to any family activities at all? And for those of you who don't know, he's the Black man, senator or congressman from South Carolina who voted against Ketanji.
You know what? He had to stay. He's doing his best to stay with the party line.
No, he didn't, because it was three other Republicans, including Nick Romney, who voted for her. So they gave him the opening to go ahead and vote as well.
Yeah, but he's a different breed. I don't understand him. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't understand him. I don't understand his politics. For him to continue to try to, I don't know any other better way to say it, but to kiss behind, as much as he does, and for them to continue to snub him, at some point, I don't know, what does he owe the party? What do they have on you that you continue to be that loyal to a party that does not?
Well, and you know, there are Tim Scotts everywhere.
They lurk, yeah.
And my question is, does PV have a Tim Scott?
Oh man, you just going to the gut early.
I'm just wondering. Because if there is a PV Tim Scott, we need to identify this individual or individuals
Bring him out
and do our best to call them out whenever they push tomfoolery. That's all.
What would be how would you identify a PV Tim Scott? What would that look like?
It's egregious. When you see it, you know it.
Well, yeah.
It ain't hard. I'm just saying.
Gracious,
man. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna let it go. I'm sorry. My bad.
We definitely want to congratulate Ketanji. Well deserved. But
Justice,
we also
Ketanji.
I'm sorry. Let me put some respect.
Respect on that.
Respect on that name. We also had another young lady in the news this week, and that is the Grambling State University volleyball coach. We heard that she cut the entire team. Some people said, hey, she's the coach, do whatever she wants. Others were like, man, where's my baby gonna go to school? What do you all think?
That turned out to be a little bit of fake news. It came out that she only cut about 4 or 5 players, which is typical. I remember when I was recruited to university and Coach Cooper had her, and they call it inherited players. It was about 8 or 9 cut that year. So it's not uncommon, and it really just depends on what the new coach kind of vision for the team is. I was surprised though, because they didn't do horribly in the SWAC. I think they came in 4th or 5th place. So that was a little it made the news because the whole team being cut is unorthodox. But yeah, a couple of players, that's no one's safe when there's an exchange of coaches in any sport.
Yeah,
I think that's also another example of social media, where if we're not careful, we allow social media and non-professionals to drive the story.
Right.
This
clickbait. All
came
of the
out
clickbait.
from players that were associated with the volleyball team that wanted to put out a specific spin, and in this case, a negative spin in terms of the coach, if you're looking at it openly, and people took off with it. And so unless you do the extra research and go in it, you're just going to run with the tagline, which is going to create a whole different framework versus if you took a little more time and looked at it. So I think that's one perspective. The thing that I will say is I'm always a proponent of college athletes. That means getting their name, image, and likeness, means getting opportunity. But when you put it out there like that, that also means that the stakes go up and higher, which means that you're also going to have coaches that are going to have leverage to do what they need to do in terms of them professionalizing their careers. So I think people that are in the business of sports, and I'm talking about parents, because Joe Clay, we talked about this back and forth about making sure that parents and those athletes that are entering into these contractual agreements really understand what that means, where you're sending your young child, boy or girl, in terms of young adult at that time, going into the institution for their higher education and what they're going to study. I think this means that you have a lot of people that need to do a little bit more of their homework versus just getting into this whole trope of what being a college athlete supposedly is about.
And that's the first thing I thought about when I saw this story. I followed up and read that it was only 4 or 5 players and that the administration knew what she was going to do and why. But the first thing I thought about was parents and student athletes need to educate yourselves. When you start down this path of being a student athlete, you need to understand that it ain't a 4-year scholarship. There's no such thing as a 4-year athletic scholarship. There's a 4-year.
Actually, there is, Joe. They just changed that legislation, and some of the Power 5 schools.
The Power 5s can do it. Yeah, they can offer it. But
all of them can do it. The legislation is there that they can give a 4-year.
They can.
Yeah.
So
They
if
usually
we're
do.
speaking from a SWAC perspective, an HBCU perspective, and most schools in general, it's a 1-year improve-it deal. You ain't getting no guaranteed 4 years. If it's an academic scholarship, yeah, you keep your GPA up and you guaranteed that 4 years. But athletically, it's a 1-year prove-it deal. And if a new coach comes in and you're not their type, chances are you're hitting that transfer portal because your scholarship is not going to be honored for the next year. So know the business of sports, know the business of college sports before you go down that road. And for PV folks who want to be self-righteous and say that would never happen at PV, as you heard Guy T say a couple minutes ago, it happened under Coach Coop. It happens on every sports on Prairie View A&M's university campus because it is a business. It ain't just for fun.
And you're
Yeah,
probably going to see it happening a lot more. I mean, you look at the number of kids that are entering the portal now. I mean, it was good for the goose, is good for the gander. So, you know, hey, man, we're going to, everybody got to look out for self.
yeah.
W's.
And so hopefully this will shed some light on that as far as the importance, because I learned something new. I did. I thought once you got that athletic scholarship, you're good, right? And so hopefully, although it was shown in such a negative light, it will educate our future young people, right? That they do need to be educated on, as you said, the business of college sports. Okay. So, Roland, I hear
Yes.
we have a HBCU Juneteenth Alliance Fest coming up.
Man,
Tell us
it's a
about it.
mouthful. It was announced this week, the HBCU Juneteenth Alliance Fest. So looks like going to be hosted by Prairie View A&M University National Alumni Association in conjunction with the Texas Southern University National Alumni Association. And it is a a jam-packed schedule, complete with golf tournaments, the President's Dinner, a Juneteenth HBCU Symposium, a PhD Project Symposium, Healthcare Disparities Symposium, HBCU Alumni Career Services Job Fair and Expo, and they're going to wrap it up and round it out with a Sunday breakfast celebrating Juneteenth and Father's Day. So again, be on the lookout for more information. It's scheduled right now for June 16th through the 19th. And I'm just excited for this because it's good to finally see that we're putting something official and something of a staple around Juneteenth. I think everybody kind of has their own way of celebrating Juneteenth, and it's very isolated and kind of segmented. I think this will be a good start, especially for the city of Houston and those HBCU members, because it is also open to other HBCU alumni associations in the area too. So I look forward to it. Good thing.
Very nice. Very nice. And we'll be back to talk some spring sports.